Welcome to Below the Frame with me, Matt Vogel. As you know, we are rewinding to some of our original Below the Frame episodes this season, and those were episodes that we broadcast live during our lunch break at Sesame Street. And today, we're rewinding to November 2nd, 2017. It is an episode where we are talking once again about Sesame Street characters, and there's also a Q&A in there as well. This episode features Tyler Bunch and Peter Linz, as well as the song Ladybug Picnic that's performed by Keith Olsen, along with Johnny K and the Muppet Lounge Band. So, let's take a look at this episode and go below the frame by rewinding to November 2nd, 2017. Hello! Welcome! Hi! Anybody joining us yet?
We've got some people! We've got 31 eyes!
All right, well...
And a bunch of thumbs is up.
Thumbs up to you. Welcome to Below the Frame. I'm Matt Vogel. We're
Hi.
here at Stephanie DeBruzzo is behind the camera. We are going to jump right in to where we left off last week, which is talking about the Sesame Street characters. So we'll walk from here on down. And while we're walking the hall, I should let you know that next week is our season 48 premiere with a special called The Magical Wand Chase. It's on HBO. Check your local listings. I believe it's going to be in prime time. And then also the Sesame Street characters are returning to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this year. So we're going to be out there super
On what
bright
day,
and
Matt?
That's on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes, it is. So we'll be there again. Once again, we'll be Thanksgiving Day parading it up for you. It'll be fun.
Hey, Matt, in the time we've walked down the hall, we've doubled our audience.
Yes! So that's what? How many is that? That's
65.
Great. So here we are. We are going to go into the Muppet Cast Lounge. Woo! Come on in, everybody. Hi. Hey, Jackie. Hi, everyone. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Oh, it's a full house today.
It is.
Very nice.
Where's the other couch members?
I'm
I
here.
don't know. Peter's here. Peter, you want to come take a seat here if you want?
Hey, what do
We're
we
making
have
a
on that
coffee.
back door, Matt?
Everybody, hey, I don't know if you saw this, guys. On the back wall there, Jesse Oliver sent us this great picture.
Oh, wait a minute, Matt. What's that
Your
mean?
video has finished uploading. Your post, I don't know what that means.
Oh, all right.
But it says we're live. Weird things. So that's kind of a temporary location for it. Jesse, are you out there? Are you watching? See if a little note comes up from Jesse.
Right, I'm sure it will.
You did?
He says hi, James.
Hi. Yay. Okay, so what is all the corn? What's all this?
Oh, that's the
Oh, it's so nice.
that's our in between holiday
Really?
decorations.
Fantastic. So we're going to continue talking about characters, which is where we were last week, and we had some technical difficulties. I trust that that's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen. It's a beautiful day, right?
Yes.
What's that technology? What?
Trust in technology.
Is Peter going to get the below the below happening?
So
I think
he might be. Here you go. So
I'm watching this show.
what we did was last week we missed Tyler and
Right.
Peter talking about characters. So we're going to jump into that. So
I wouldn't say we exactly missed it.
well, we did it, but I think they missed it on there. So Tyler.
Yes.
We talked about people that are originators of characters
Correct.
and inheritors of characters, and you and Peter are both character inheritors.
Correct.
So can you tell us about that process?
Well, for me, it was more akin to the
Get
way
your hand out of my shot, Lynn.
some of the mentors. So the mentorship style stuff has happened with the years that we've been here, and when performers have been lucky enough to kind of be around while the original performer was in the guise of the character and the soul emanating through. The character was originally developed as a partnership between Kevin Clash and Bill Beretta when they were coming up with the idea of what Elmo's father should be and who he should be. And that original soul that was instilled in that character was Bill's gift to the audience at large, and I was lucky enough that when it became a sort of a logistical impossibility for Bill, who's West Coast based, to be here for as many opportunities as they needed, and at that time as sporadic as the opportunities were to have Louis in the frame, so to speak, he just made the realization that it made sense that instead of stepping in to substitute for him, which had happened a couple of times, he'd rather just see the character's soul develop in whatever way rather than splitting between the two performers. So he kind of bequeathed Louis to me. Very talented man, and I'm very, very happy to have received the gift.
Bill's a fun guy, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he
Hi,
is.
Peter. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Smig.
Smig's birthday was yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday, Smig. thank you for the ridiculous artwork. It's funny because it's true, because the pipe cleaner cake
Oh yeah, the lolly artwork.
happened. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So Peter,
Got us.
Peter,
Yes. So Matt. Yes, Matt.
you're a character inheritor as well. You play
Yes.
2 characters on Sesame Street.
On the same street, yeah.
You play,
Ernie and Harry Monster.
and two kind of different processes for that, was it? Or was it?
Yeah, I have to, guys. Sorry, I have to go because
All right.
I'm on below the frame
No,
right now.
I'll hold.
Oh, good.
I'll frame
That
you.
would be thanks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate that. I don't
Sure.
know which one to look at. Ready,
No,
one,
you-
take
yeah, go
one.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the real show, Linz.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my process was my childhood memories, and thank God for YouTube because all of Jerry and Jim's work with Ernie and Harry. That's what informed my choices and trying to perform these characters as true as possible to their origins, and also finding out things about Jim when he performed Ernie. Like I met someone who worked for Henson, and she, as an intern, picked up Jim Henson from the airport. This is back in the early '80s, and he actually talked about Ernie. I said, "Please, you remember that conversation?" And basically said, "Well, Frank's my best friend, and I just draw so much inspiration from my friends. I'm just playing with my best friend." And I was like, that's awesome. It's not quite a parallel because I hate Eric Jacobson,
Well, we all do, but
as most people do.
we all do.
No, and Eric, of course, is also one of my best friends. So it's a tremendous honor, and I love it. It's so much fun. Thank you, Matt.
Sure.
Wow.
What? Which part was a lie?
There was a lot going on.
You
Which
don't
part was a
know
lie?
him.
Which part was a lie?
So, what's that?
Yeah, Matt.
Oh, I'm a character
In
inheritor.
fact, you have
yeah, you
Jerry
are.
right over your shoulder right now in this shot. The
this way.
other shoulder.
Yeah, so, I'm a character inheritor. I worked under Jerry for years and years and years as his right hand for the Count. And then, in fact, as Jerry got on in years, I would perform the puppet for him, and Jerry would sit just off camera and do the lines live. And I call it catching the lines. I would catch the lines live and puppeteer for Jerry as he did the lines beautifully as the Count, like just full on, full out, 100% every time. And so I felt like I had him because I wore these headphones, and I felt like I had Jerry literally inside my head as he was doing those lines for years. And that was the natural process for that. For Big Bird, I've said the story before. I met Carol Spinney. I'd never met him before. I was introduced to him by Renee Rochelle, who worked at the Jim Henson Company at the time, and she said, "Carol Spinney, this is Matt Vogel." And Carol, his eyes lit up, and he said, "Vogel, your name means bird in German. This may be the job for you." And so from then on, I think I had a little in because of that. So, but he kind of mentored me along the years, and he and his wife Debbie are dear friends of mine. And I feel that it's important that we try to honor those performers and be as faithful as we can to those characters and who those characters are. So that's.
So if you're a German
quick
bird,
That's
you
right.
kind of got it in. That's what
That's
you probably
true.
need to do.
So I've got questions here. I have tons of questions, and I really want to get to the questions that you guys have sent.
That's
So,
all the time we have now. We'll see you next week right here on Below the Frame. How do I
Wow, your show is short. It's
a short show.
We keep them wanting more.
These are proprietary questions, and so you can't put those on
that's
your
right.
show. We made a contractual deal. So anybody, puppeteers, any of you guys can answer this, okay? And depending on the question, anybody in the room can answer. All right, so here we go. Shane Keating asks, what's a character, that's not the end of the question, that may or may not be your own, that hasn't appeared a while, and that you'd like to see on the show again?
I know one.
Harry.
Les.
Harry.
I'm sorry.
Harry
I'm
Monster.
going to jump in with a
Just-
penguin,
but-
Penelope. The penguin.
Penelope, anybody else?
Grandetta.
Granjada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other
Papa Bear.
Yeah,
What?
Mumford.
Mumford. That's a good one.
Curly Bear.
No one wants to see
Nobel
Curly.
Prize.
Placido Flamingo.
Okay.
Gladys the cow.
Marcello Botero asks, what do you look for when creating a character for a puppet, and how do you find a voice for the character? Steph, you got anything for that? How do you create a voice for the character?
I never do. I try
it's just her.
all the time. So I hire someone.
Anybody have that?
Come
Anybody?
on, you guys.
How you
do
create a
that
voice?
and-
Like, what's like a quick?
So many major answers, but the biggest thing is, especially on this show, that usually means something that's coming into play in the mix of characters. So I like to look at the rest of the characters in the scene, find an energy and actually a vocal tone that makes it more of an ensemble than too many notes on the same part of the scale.
You don't want to have everybody in the group have really
Everybody, you don't want everybody talking like this all the time.
Hi, I'm a character.
Unless it's a thing.
That's the thing. Like, you know.
Vince Broman, hi Vince, how you doing? Oh, maybe you're on there, maybe you're not. What are your favorite one-off characters that you may or may not have performed on the show? I'll start it out by saying that I performed this character called Hubert the Human Cannonball that
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved performing.
He was great.
Anybody like one-off characters that you like
I'm
doing?
gonna say Penelope Penguin because I really think that I had a lot to offer.
Hammy.
I did a chicken who clucked Lady of Spain with an accordion player for Big Bird. It was
Fantastic.
I had a really back 10 years ago. I did this really angry chicken for an entire episode, and Kevin's like, "That's going to be a recurring character, the angry chicken." It never came back.
Oh man,
Was it
so
the little
maybe
white
we'll.
chicken or was
I
it a
don't
brown
recall,
chicken?
but it was very angry.
Peter, if you cared, you'd remember.
Eric Londergan. Eric Londergan asks,
live.
"Who is the most underrated character on Sesame Street?" And then says, "My vote is Prairie Dawn." Most underrated character. Most underrated character. Don't say Penelope.
That if no, I think that's the one. I'm gonna echo the Prairie Dawn.
Yeah.
Prairie Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Ray Newcomer says, "Is the Count a heavy puppet?" Yes. No, he's not that heavy. I mean, when you compare him to like Big Bird.
What if he's wearing
No.
a costume then?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of general. When any of the puppets, when you put a costume on them or
Or a wig.
hat or a wig,
Yeah.
or they're
Those
carrying
Rosita
across, they
Wong
instantly
wigs.
become heavier.
Wait, remember when you were the Shape-O-Bots, Carm?
Or robot.
Oh, they were the Shape-O-Bots.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Chris Harris wants to know, when you were a kid, who was your favorite Sesame Street Muppet?
Cookie Monster.
Barkley.
Grover.
Wait.
Grover.
Oh,
Grover.
yeah, I'm not getting people.
Ernie.
Ernie?
Ernie.
Mumford.
How about the Peanut Gallery?
again.
Yeah.
Grover.
I loved Ernie as a kid, but I love Bert now.
Ah.
Oh.
Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a
Apparently,
Green
3-year-old
Monster
me
map.
loved Big Bird.
Oh.
Yeah.
I kind of gravitated more toward Grover. That has my memory cleared up.
Yeah, I love Grover too.
Wilson Swain asks, how do you strike the balance? This is a good one here. How do you strike the balance between maintaining true to the spirit of an inherited classic character and keeping them fresh or alive?
Oh, that's really good question.
That's a good question.
Because you can't just they're not just you can't have them in a box in a museum.
cannot
They
have
have
them
to
in a box.
live in our world.
Well, I think that the character grows, and what I try to do is grow it as the person who originated it would grow the characters, because they are living and they're breathing and they're changing, so they do have to change and grow. So if you stay true to the person who started that character and grow it in that direction, I think you're heading the right way.
Nice answer.
And we're kind of, that's almost determined by the way the show grows as well, because the way the show communicates with kids also changes, and that means how the characters tell the stories and what parts of them are important changes. So we kind of have to be flexible to move forward as the show does.
Excellent.
So on that, Marnie Hill asks, when a puppeteer takes over a previously established character, is it more important to have an understanding of the character's originator or the character first?
I strongly feel you got to know the character first.
I agree with that.
Because we're actors, we're character actors, and maybe there's some small facet of our own personalities we put into our characters, but it's really about the character that's created, and you've got to know.
Yes.
About
I mean,
the
yeah,
character.
it helps to have known the original person. I'm glad that I knew Jerry, absolutely. I'm glad that I know Carol, but I also know, I feel like that I know Big Bird and I know the Count because of what I see of them on TV and what has been created about them.
The facet
And that's
was
the important thing. That's
yeah.
what everybody sees. They see that character.
And the facet was the important word, because all the characters are facets of ourselves, and each of us are individual diamonds. You could have two diamonds that are cut the exact same way, but you got one that's got a little bit of a pink hue, one that's got a yellow. You're always going to have that residual you as part of the character. The goal is to put the facet as close to the one that you're mirroring as possible.
Very good. Brett Hansen asks, are there any characters that are painful to perform physically or vocally? I imagine most of the puppets are lightweight and adjusted for each performer's comfort. Does Cookie hurt David's voice? Does Harry hurt Peter's voice? Anyone pushing their voice to the limit?
Honestly, I haven't had a big enough Harry script to find out. I've done a couple things with Harry, but it's
Yeah.
been short. And you haven't hurt too bad.
No.
Not
And
too bad.
and David's not here, but he is. He's hiding though, probably around.
Yeah.
But
Telly.
I would say Telly, and I think
wish
that
I
David
was
does have
Marty
times
this
when he's like, oh man, he just blew his voice out.
Yeah.
Like if he's done a whole show.
If it's a long day.
Marty.
Yeah.
Marty
to its own.
has
Marty, yeah.
one
Marty.
volume, right, Pam? You can talk about him. His energy.
Yeah. We actually just had this conversation last week because Marty had the first telly day in a long time, and he said it's like any other muscle. If he can do it every day for 5 or 6 days in a row, just like when you work out, he's fine for long stretches. But if it's a full day, not having done it for a while, it wears out like any other muscle.
Marty had.
Brett also asks, there are characters no longer allowed to riff and improv off of each other on the show like they used to. There seems to be that in a lot of old sketches, particularly with Frank, that there would be a lot of improving. And I'll say basically that we're allowed to improv and to ad-lib, and we add things every day. We do have to keep in mind on the show that we are heading toward a curricular goal, that is an educational goal for kids that are watching the show. Correct? I mean, we all
Yes.
improv and kind of add. We try to add to and enhance the
I never
the script.
improv. I say things exactly as they are written.
You're a liar.
We do have, and those scripted pieces are researched and thought out, and they are tested, etc. But we do have times when we go and make videos for Mashable, or we go on like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or any shows like
The
that.
live appearances.
Live
are
appearances
improv.
are a lot more improv oriented, and they're a lot looser. There's less scripting that goes on.
We've been in triple digits for a little while too, Matt.
Oh,
We're on
nice.
having the 102s.
Physical
This is
improv all the
a
time.
big day.
Oh, good. What's that, Pammy?
We do physical improv and humor with the characters. That's where we can fill in if the words aren't exactly being improv. We can add funny stuff with their bodies. That's
Brittany
the fun.
Reed, remember Brittany Reed?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hey, Brittany, how much of your performance of any given character would you say is uniquely you, your quirks, your likes, your dislikes, etc., and how much is the character's original personality that somebody has written in? Les? How much is uniquely you, and how much is Abby?
Gee, I don't know. Well, the wings aren't me.
Right.
Well,
what is?
Know. Well, I mean, I feel like Abby is like a cross between Gracie Allen and Daffy Duck and a little bit of Barney Fife. So I put the things that I love and find joy into that character.
Yeah.
So I think I think
It's pretty much you.
it's
But I
pretty
also
much
think
me.
that the longer that you perform a character,
Yeah.
the more of your own
Quirks.
personality and quirks and who is you comes into the
Yeah.
character normally.
Yeah.
And you're a goofball, and
What?
Abby's a goofball.
Maybe when I'm the penguin.
Our last question from Cindy Chapman. If you could pick any character to perform other than your own, past or present, who would it be? Past or present?
Oh my gosh.
Anybody? I'm going to say Sherlock Hemlock. I don't know why.
Ooh,
I'm just
that's a
gonna
good one.
Pick that out of the air. Any character, past or present. It doesn't even have to be. It could be one that's on the show now that you're like, I'd love to play. Rapunzel. Okay, this is
Rapunzel, Frank's Rapunzel.
Mumford.
Penelope the penguin.
What?
The penguin, Penelope.
That is a great idea.
Okay, so we are to music time. Thank you guys for your questions. I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody's question. We're trying to cram them in. We'll try to answer more questions on our next show, which I'll tell you here in a second.
Has a story.
Keith has a story, so let's hear it. Keith, what's our song today?
Last year, my jug band had the pleasure for opening up for Jim Kweskin, and we were talking in the green room before the show, and he said, "What do you do?" I said, "I work for Sesame Street. I do the props." And he said, "Sesame Street, I did a song for them way back early in the 70s called the Ladybug Picnic. You know it?" I said, "Know it." And I started picking it, and he started picking it too, so I got to sing Ladybug's Picnic with the Jim Kweskin, the original of the song.
So, with that, I think what we should do is we should hear you do Ladybug Picnic. I think
Let's
we should,
real
right?
quick introduce the band.
Johnny K. Gordon Price.
Of sound.
Yeah.
Keith of props.
Jen Barnhart.
Tyler.
Pam Arcero.
And
Oh, Carmen, I'm
Carmen on A.
just
Excellent.
right.
Take it away.
today.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. Ladybug Day, with a Ladybug Picnic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and they all play games. And the Ladybug Picnic. They had 12 sacks for the ransack, rain, green, fell on the back, when they came on the bridges, Ladybug trails, and the Ladybug Picnic. can't jump rope, but the rope get broke. So they just sat around telling not to go. Ladybug's well at the Ladybug Picnic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and travel away at the Ladybug Picnic. They bought the houses, Persian rugs, pirate shirt for Ladybug. The Ladybug's well at the Ladybug Picnic. Everybody! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, Ladybug Picnic. The Ladybug Picnic. That brought a huge smile to my face. I hope it did to you as well. We're off next week. We'll be back the week after. Thank you very much for joining us on Below the Frame. All right, hit it. And now you're all in the know because you joined us
For our little show, it's always all go, go, go. Go, go, go. Below the frame.
Thank you. Let's listen for Teresa.
It's 2 p.m. We are back from lunch. Sesame Street Muppeteers, do the set, please. All Muppeteers.
All right, thank you. Thanks for joining us. See ya. Woo-hoo! Back to work. Back to work.
That was awesome.
Below the Frame is produced by Welcome Matt Productions and me, Matt Vogel. Our theme song was written by Stephanie DeBruzzo and myself and performed by the Mighty Weaklings. Our podcast art was created by Dave Holteen at daveholteendesign.com. This Rewind episode was originally produced by me along with Stephanie DeBruzzo, who also filmed and broadcast the show live, gave valuable consultation, and was just doggone great support in the creation of the episode. So special thanks goes out to Stephanie DeBruzzo. Follow me on Instagram at WelcomeMattV or search Matt Vogel. I post things every now and again, and it'll help you to know when new episodes of this podcast are out, for example. Thanks to everybody who was in our Rewind episode today. I loved doing these with you. And thanks to everybody out there for listening and watching. That's right, you can find Below the Frame wherever you get your podcasts, and we're now a video podcast on YouTube, so you can see our faces, especially for these rewinds. You know, it was so great to relive the memories of these episodes of Below the Frame. If you're sharing podcasts out there, please let someone know about this one. And also, please rate and review us. I'm sure that it pleases the podcast gods or something. I don't know. I am Matt Vogel, and we will see you next time when we go Below the Frame.
Go, 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 below the frame.